Welcome to the Mystery Channel, where the veil is thin and the echoes of ancient knowledge speak through myth, magic, and the turning of the cards.
Well, I've got a crazy time at the minute because we're switching platforms. So it's a major crazy time that I'm trying to blast through. But again, that's 2025 and all the amazing stuff it brings. Really makes us grit our teeth and move forward.
Welcome, Toni. Very glad you are here.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. It's nice to see your faces.
Yes, you too. Always. That's like because I always loved taking your classes too. Oh, sorry.
What are the plans, Toni? What are the plans for the coming years for you? Because you're always very busy, always with new projects. I saw that you published a book and all that. What is Toni doing in 2025?
What
are the plans?
Well, anybody that knows me, I'm Gemini. So anyone that knows me, I've got a finger in so many different projects. Whether they actually take off is dependent upon the universe. And one that is coming up, I have written a book and created a system with Wiser Books that is about clearing ourselves so that we aren't carrying mental baggage. I mean, you do a lot of that in hypnotherapy. We're dealing with the mental issues, we're dealing with the emotional issues. And I've created a deck. Carrie Paris has done the artwork for it. So that's a tangible thing that's coming out in 2026, which I'm excited for.
Oh.
But with World Divination, we obviously have a couple of conferences each year. And I obviously have the courses that are always rolling. I'm doing one that I really, really am passionate about at the minute, and that's Mastering the Lenormand. It's already started. We had an intake in 2025, and it's an advanced where students are working through grand tableaus every single month with feedback from me on those. That's one I'm really passionate about because I love Lenormand. So I have a book on the go that I haven't finished yet. That's traditional Lenormand. Every single week seems to go past so quickly that with the we're changing World Divination from one platform to another. I honestly don't know if I'm going forwards, backwards, in circles, or what on earth is happening at the minute. So the universe is going to tell me, if they give me time, which projects I'm actually going to finish.
So do we totally have no influence, you think, on what the universe wants? Can we somehow...
I think we can guide that universe, absolutely, because if you think about my Kipper book, think about your Le Petit Lenormand encyclopedia, when you have that urge and it has to be done, then you get it done at the right time. So yeah, I do think when the universe says it's time for this, there's something within you that just can't stop you from focusing on that one thing.
Yeah. I also think that it works that way, that you can really, that it works with genuine expectations often.
Mm-hmm.
No, I cannot really, I see the concept somehow, but...
Well, I don't know if you do know, but I love physics. When it comes to manifestation or anything along those lines, I like to marry science with actual concepts of manifestation or whatever concept you want. I do think we can tangibly change the way forward for ourselves using our way of navigating that universe forward. And I do strongly believe that one day they'll be able to prove that without any doubt. I just don't think it'll be in my lifetime.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, things go fast. So, but are you into quantum physics then, Toni?
Yes, I love it. I listen to podcasts.
It's fascinating.
Did you ever saw Water Bleed?
Water Bleed?
Do we know?
No.
Do you know that?
I have.
You should watch that.
I'll have a look into that. Absolutely. No, I like the concept of breaking your brain. So if there's a concept that's bigger than than we are, I think it's healthy to think about those concepts and how they could actually apply and how they could actually work, because it frees your mind of so many other things and actually taps you into that way forward for yourself. So I spend a lot of time breaking my brain on concepts that are bigger than me. I guess that's what philosophers and everything used to do. But I think it's a healthy way to find a subject that you really enjoy and then actually break your brain with it. I actually have a great book here that was it's an old one, recommended to me. If you just look at the images in it, just reading through, it's the concept of bringing the universal one, the concept of bringing bigger values into also spirituality and religion and stuff, and trying actually to agree some peace within that, some truth within that, using the science that we have these days.
I love that book. You should read it. It's amazing. Because I love whenever they put the science into anything, because it just proves that point. It just adds that layer. It's just amazing.
Absolutely. I think the person that started me off on that track was a gentleman called Dr. Stelzel. He's a German author, and he teaches a link between spirituality and science. He passed away this year, which is super sad. But he got me down the lines of physics, and I was always into physics, but specifically into quantum.
That will be the next big thing, I think.
Yes.
I think
Are you still reading the cards on a daily basis?
Absolutely. I do readings for clients, obviously. I don't often do a personal reading, but that's mainly because I don't feel like I need to. So I think times of trials and tribulations, yes, cards, and when I do lay cards, I'll lay them, I'll look at them, got the answer, then I move on. So I don't sit for hours over spreads for myself or anything like that. I will sit and read for clients, obviously, and I use the cards when I'm teaching. But for myself, I will lay them sporadically, again, literally 5 minutes, and then I move on. I always said from the start to all my students, screw the cards. Because if there's something you really want to do, you can talk yourself out of it with the cards, or the cards can talk you out of it too. But if there's something you're passionate about, maybe ask a question of how to find a way forward if it's showing all crappy outcomes. But I don't think we should navigate our lives being dictated by cards.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree.
It's probably unpopular in the cartomancy world, but I think we have to have a bit of autonomy in ourselves as well.
I do think so, yeah. You know, and I've also different ways of looking at card reading and all that, so I think that's only a good thing, that we can see it from a different angle, and that we can make good use of it and as a device in our life.
And the other thing is we change the way we're reading as well. The longer we spend with our system, the more we engage with our system, the more that changes naturally as you grow within it.
No, and if we go back to the quantum physics and all that, and you somehow said, you do the same with hypnotherapy. Yeah, I look at such a reading in a technical way, from out of the eyesight of a hypnotherapist. You are somehow also giving suggestions. So whatever there is on the table, and you say, okay, but you will be angry with your man and all that. So you give already suggestions.
Absolutely.
So that's something strange. So it maybe triggers a self-fulfilling prophecy, maybe.
This is very true. And I also believe that when we do that, I don't think a reading should be 100% predictive read. because if you do, you're not giving your querent any advice on how to navigate that. So I think that's where advice comes in, rather than saying you're going to be arguing with your partner. How do we navigate those arguments? How do we look at this in a different way? What role are we playing in that? Because I do believe, and it may be because I've become 50 this year, but I do think you have to take responsibility for yourself in the spreads, and responsibility, your querent has to take responsibility of their situation as well, rather than it just being something, well, this is going to happen, good luck. I think we have to talk to our querents so that they take responsibility within that too.
Yeah, it really can open up things with people, just reading the cards or whatever divinational tool that you use. So it is psychologically on its own.
Yeah. Well, we come from a very similar standpoint, actually, Bjorn, because I've studied hypnotherapy too, and I use it a lot privately for me. In our mediumship classes, I am constantly using for any kind of, for example, this weekend we're doing soul retrieval or something similar, and I'll use hypnotic deepeners, I'll use an induction in order, and then obviously visualization after that. But I think it's a good lens for a diviner to have.
Yeah. No, and in the end, so the definition for me, the hypnotic state of mind is just a organic state of mind that somehow comes about when you have focus on something. When you're like driving a car, everyone knows that, I've been not doing my best to look at the road for the past 10 minutes or something like that. But can you imagine back in the 19th century that someone opened the cabinet of Madame de Normand? It was like a shock induction, because you step really into another world. You have like, and takes over from there. Then you're very, very much interesting. So, and if you really know what you do, like you said, you can make a card reading so much more impactful, I think.
I believe so, 100%. And that's why I created this system. It's called Oracle of the Higher Self. And I, along with hypnotherapy, I use Ho'oponopono, which is a clearing. It's a belief system that you have your conscious self, your subconscious self, and then you have a superconscious self, which is your higher self. And we can only be clear if we're not psychologically in a mess, when we're not emotionally in a mess, because we have triggers. We have triggers from everything in the world. And that fits in with my view of hypnotherapy too, in that it is a clear way to assist yourself or assist someone else in sorting through what is information in your head or information in your emotions. And it's an actually really effective tool, but also gentle within it.
So using that though, because most of the times when people come for hypnotherapy, reading the cards, and any of it is because they're already in a mess. Most people don't seek it out when they're having a great time. Life is going well. But the minute there's the hiccup, then they run to the answer thing. So how would you navigate that? Because like you said, the clear mind. You were saying when you wanted people to come with a clear mind and not in a mess, but most of the times when people come into a reading, they want to come. They're already in a mess. They're already in a chaos.
I would say absolutely every single person that comes to my table is in some way either in the conscious mind overrun, and I won't call it a mess, but overrun. In an emotional overrun state where there are triggers at play. The way I deal with that is that, like I was saying before, I speak to my querent exactly about those things. I use my Lenormand GT to understand what is going on in the conscious mind, what is going on in those emotions, what is driving this behavior. So it's like doing cognitive behavioral therapy in end effect, because because they are considering where these triggers come from and how they can work forward and change behavior on themselves to make sure that they are leading that life that they want to, that they are getting the manifestations that they want to get. If somebody came to me who was wanting personal help through a counseling session, for example, then I would naturally employ Lenormand because it's an amazing tool for that. But obviously in the future when my book comes out, then I've got a new deck to work with.
I know. I love that about the cards. Yeah. There's just so many ways to utilize it. That's amazing.
So what were the influences of your new deck, Toni? Because you had a whole range of divinational tools to your right. What is the inspiration for that?
The new deck inspiration actually came when we were working together, and I drew a system out of cards in a GT. So I set a system in front of me with a querent, and instead of having a partner card, I had the querent's other side, whether you want to call that the shadow self or whether you want to call whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter. And then I thought about, because I was working heavily with Ho'oponopono, heavily with hypnotherapy, and obviously Lenormand will always influence everything that I do. So there was no way I was going to create a system that didn't have a system behind it. So Lenormand's fueled all of that anyway. But if you mix in the Ho'oponopono, the Dr. Stelzel, like I said, into a big ball and throw some Lenormand, cues in as well, then you get the idea of what I'm working with. So, and then it sat in my desk. So I created it and it sat in my desk. And then about a year and a half ago, I pulled it out and I thought, ooh, this is quite good actually. And I drew some cards out for myself, really crude cards out. And I started reading with them for myself, not for anyone else. And I thought, this really helps me. Maybe it's something that would help others. So I reached out to Carrie then, and Carrie said, because we worked on the Siren song together, Carrie and I love her artwork. So, and that was it. The rest was history. Wiser took it on, and I can't wait. It's been a while now, so I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I will definitely buy it. So I'm curious.
Thank you, B.
Oh yes, absolutely buy it.
I can understand it. It's like more. It's like more than just reading.
Well,
cards.
for me, honestly, if you get me on these subjects, I don't stop talking. So you have to. If I go on too long, you have to punch me virtually or similar. But I'm a really, really, really strong believer that we can't live our best life if we're being too human. And by being too human, I mean getting emotional about things, getting thoughts in our heads all the time. And I train myself to have a space of void in my head where I'm not constantly thinking about something. If a thought comes in, it has to go away because it's just information. And if I get a pang of emotions or an emotional response to something, then I check myself because it doesn't do me well. Being emotional doesn't do me well. Being conscious in a mess doesn't do me well. Why should I not try and clear that? Why should I not try and be a better version for myself? Not for anyone else, but for myself.
Sounds like stoicism.
I like that. I've always liked that because people do concentrate too much on the human experience instead of the physical. Like what? Back to physics again, back to the science stuff instead of allowing other people to dictate.
I am on top of all of that. I am like I say, I'm Gemini, so I'm airy fairy. I'm all over the place. People call me a space cadet sometimes because my head's in the clouds, but that's how I like it. If I'm having intrusive thoughts that are telling me that I'm not good enough, or telling me that I can't do this, or telling me that something awful is going to happen, I can't live in that space that makes me super happy with butterflies everywhere and the world's amazing. You know, it's my choice. I can choose whether I think about things. I can choose whether I have an emotional response about it. So why don't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and if you see in history all those mystery traditions and all that, that was what they wanted to do. They wanted to escape matter, to become spirit.
Yes.
So, and everything in regards of matter is the lower life, and everything in regards of spirit is the higher.
Agreed. I think we should try and escape as much as possible, because the majority of our lives is human. So I think we should see the magic in the universe. And we only see that magic if we're viewing it through the lens of somebody who isn't bogged down with the humanness.
Yeah, you know, that's layered, but very interesting what you say there. Philosophical, it's spiritual, it's...
Well, I don't often get the opportunity to speak about all these things.
You know, and that's also how I look at divination always. The Matrix movie.
Yes.
And the scene with the woman, the soothsayer, you know, that always intrigued me.
Yes.
So divination has two sides always, I think.
Yeah.
I agree.
Oh, absolutely.
So
yeah, absolutely.
How do you interpret what the diviner was saying there? What do you think that the message was? So there are different angles to look at in the film The Matrix.
Well, that's a huge question, isn't it? I think this goes to, I had a meditation. I meditate every night. Every single night without fail, I meditate before I go to bed. And the other night I had a meditation because obviously, you know, my mom's not well at the minute. And I was struggling with that. So I sat down for meditation and I followed a figure, and I had so many questions in my head, and rather than giving me a spoken answer, the world around me suddenly was hit by, like in the Matrix, like this bright blue light, and I was shown all the different dimensions in one space. Spirit, obviously, us, because I can talk about dimensions a lot as well, so you have to rein me in. It was like a flash. It was like a flash.
Yeah, that's
and all right, if you want me to go into dimensions, the thing I love about it, if we look at a 2D picture, we see a flat picture. But if we were living in that 2D picture, that's all we'd experience, and we wouldn't actually technically be able to see a 3D or a 4D object. So if you think about it that way, it's only the same as there being higher, or we call it higher, but other dimensions that we actually just can't see because we don't have the function as a human to be able to see that extra dimension. This meditation that I had as well was just showing all of it in that one place. And I think the Matrix has got a lot of concepts behind it. I think people debate it all the time. But for me, it was the connection, the knowledge that everything is one. Everything's in one place. Everything's there. All the information we need from the universe, everything is in one place. And I think for me, the Matrix kind of merges all of that concept into one. We can hopefully realize that we can tap into anything that we want.
I definitely completely agree.
Yeah, you know.
That's how I've always felt it. That's why I like the Akashic Records too, because it's all parallel. It's all in the same place, but it's all in different planes. Yeah, I love that. And that's where you get most of the divination thing too, being able to tap into that. Go ahead, sorry.
I actually wrote to a quantum physicist at CERN. And I wrote to him because I do a lot of work with pendulums. And I believe that through the realms of quantum that we could explain the distance the healing at a distance, because we can explain spooky action at a distance, as Einstein called it. I believe strongly that we can explain some of that stuff, but they didn't want to know.
Oh no. Yeah, of course. I've never understood that either, where we can like do the science and the physics, the spirituality, but they're so stuck on the science they don't want to see all those matrix possibilities.
I do believe that true theoretical physicists or people who work with quantum physicists, I do believe that a lot of them are the most spiritual people that you can actually meet.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's just a shame that it's too intangible at the minute to forge those dots together.
Yeah.
Read that one book by the woman who wrote about physics in witchcraft, because she's a physicist, and wrote all about her practice of witchcraft through her physicist. It was amazing, like how she made that connect. I'll send you the title. I made that connection.
Yeah.
Because Bjorn knows I read too much, so I don't remember any titles. I just remember the book.
Yeah. But there's this thing, like in history, there was, for instance, the most intelligent, wise people, they were often alchemists. So, and they had the spiritual part of it, and they had the physical part of it. So, and if you read all those old alchemy books, a lot of that is quark. But they had also initiation rites. So it was also about stepping into a ritual and all that. Don't forget that they also invented a lot of stuff on the physical part with plans, devices, all of that, but they had a tool, and that tool, okay, that's material, it can do something with it, but it's also a spiritual act. So that's the same as, for instance, like a Freemasonry, that each tool has also a spiritual part, but those old societies, they all had that, and the same is like with the matrix. If like the mandalas, that's somehow a universal interconnecting thing. Like the Germans, they had the web of Weir. So almost like an old family constellation that everything is connected. So the matrix is just a modern way to look at it.
I agree.
Easier way, definitely, to understand it.
And in the old days, they really had ways to use those energies and all that. So now it comes into my mind. Also had a course once about walking with a dowsing rod, isn't it?
We're working with the dowsing rods. Oh, absolutely. I love.
Yeah, I'm really fascinated by that.
Yeah, this is my bobber.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Love them. I've got pendulums coming out of my ears.
Yeah.
Oh,
but I have an interesting for you. These are my pendulums. These were designed, I don't have that many in here, designed by a Polish gentleman. He designed the pendulums to have what he calls as batteries, and each battery has a different pattern in its vibration when it swings. It was Barge, it was called Joseph Barge. That on its own, the batteries themselves, or the shapes, obviously, the shapes create a pattern in their vibration when they are swinging. So it all links in. Every single thing that we do links in with a pattern of some description. We just have amazing tools to use as well.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Because it reminds me on all those vibrations that go through the universe and all that, with the different hertz and all that.
Well, that's why I love Dr. Stelzel. Honestly, that's why I love him, because he runs through obviously the visible hertz that we can see, but also then the hertz that we can't see. So obviously ultraviolet light, etc., that are just outside our spectrum. But talking about bigger concepts and thinking about bigger things, it makes me question then, if radio waves, can't see them, we know they're there. How many others are there? How many other wave functions are there out there on a scale that we actually don't know about?
Yeah, and that goes for all our senses. What we cannot sense, what we cannot taste, what we cannot hear, what we cannot feel.
Because we're stuck in our dimension, the human realm.
Yes.
Well, if you just look at your dog or your cat, they can really
Yes.
sense when it's going to be bad weather, or like those old farmers. They really were diviners on their own. They
Oh,
knew
yeah.
by being every day on the acre, it's gonna rain and all that. Forecast what is about to happen.
But if we swing back to what we were talking about before as well, if we aren't as human, if we try and clear a bit of the humanness to have freedom to be that spiritual or raise ourselves to that spiritual, then technically we should be able to sense more than what we do. But there are limitations in the human body.
Coming out with like so many strides in science to detect these things. That's what I'm curious about. To be able to merge that, then to be able to see everything we can't broadening our own minds. One of these days they're going to come out with something amazing like that.
Well, they did it with the boson. They called it the God particle. When they discovered the boson, and that was a huge one. But it kind of then opened up more questions afterwards, because obviously, they've found this particle, but then what comes next?
Oh yes, that's
The mind is a powerful tool. I think what we believe will happen in the end somehow.
I do. I just don't think I'll be here to see it.
Never know. They're making strides. Especially since, like you said, 2025 has been such a transformational year as well. You're just getting so many more ideas, though. So I feel like we're already expanding.
Don't you think it's funny that the age of Aquarius, everybody expected a huge change. They didn't expect this.
That's,
Be careful what you wish for.
Oh, yeah. I have Aquarius energy. So I see it more as that, like, nobody knows where you're coming from, chaos a little bit.
Yeah.
So, do you see evolution in cartomancy or in divination, or what you do in general?
Yeah, I really do, and I see a lot of people going back to the old ways. I think we went through with TikTok and Facebook and all of social media. We went a long way away from that for a while, where everything was intuition based, and I think there's a real desire to seek information now, a real desire to look to the past for our way to the future as well. And I think that's a really nice transition, because yes, divination will always change. It will always morph into whatever the diviner wants it to be. But it is nice to see people looking to what they used to do, looking to where these, the core essence, that magic within that system. I think that's making a turnaround.
And how do you see the role of AI in this for the future?
I may get shot down for this, Bjorn, but I think AI is a great invention. I think we are pioneering an amazing way forward if we can control it. I do think there's a place for AI whilst retaining the humanness and whilst retaining a role for us. So I don't worry that AI is going to take over anything. I see AI more as something that will get better over time and that can help some people too. I have asked different AI, Grok, ChatGPT, and some others, questions on tarot, questions on Lenormand. And honestly, they can give you a standard keyword answer, which is great, just like an app can, which is great if somebody needs that and it creates a happiness within them or a confidence within them, then fair enough. But I don't think it'll ever take the place of a reader, because there's too much empathy, empathy within us. There's too much human connection within us to take over that role. So I'm all for AI within parameters that I'm not in control of, but I hope someone in the world is. And I think it may
No, I think-
develop new divination practices going forward using it. And I honestly don't see that as a bad thing. Many will disagree.
No,
Well,
me neither. You know, and
a lot.
will be much more in the future, so that will be of much more value. But in regards, you know, that's where I'm a bit worried about, you know, copyright. We publish books and all that.
Yeah, but
How
the
will
thing
that
is, books
evolve?
are constantly copied. So
Yeah.
whether it's AI copying you or whether it's somebody somewhere copying that work, my deck is on Temu, for example. So fakes on Temu, there's fakes on eBay,
Yes.
and
Oh, yeah.
honestly, that harms me more than somebody being able to access my book anyway because they've got it. So what difference is AI going to make to that? Maybe it will impart knowledge to someone else, but in the end, hopefully, people just learn from it anyway. So I'm not precious in that.
Yeah, actually, you're right. You're right. So otherwise, someone would have read your book and then make it still some
What's
things out of it.
worse? What's worse to think about? An AI having your work or somebody in the world copying your work and releasing it as a poor version thereof.
Yeah, they were
No, that's
able
so
to
true.
do nowadays to do it in 1 week if they work really hard. And you know, back in the days, yeah, they had to do years.
True.
Yeah.
But I was really
That's the
surprised on
situation.
Temu. It's really scary how many fake things there are.
And you don't even know that it's fake either because the pictures they put are because I got scammed with that on Amazon. Oh, Temu is Temu. What's that? It's like
It's
a
an app.
Chinese.
Yeah.
It's an app, but they sell everything. But it's always like knockoffs of everything. It's always the poor version of whatever's out there, even the shoes. Like that's why I don't know why it's so popular. Because if you buy a pair of shoes there or whatever, they fall apart in a week. You know what I mean? So you know, it's like
I think the cost
knockoff
of living
everything.
has a lot to do with that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah,
I think we should take down the governments and and start again.
Yeah. Oh yeah, big tower moment, right?
Yeah,
Just watch it.
absolutely.
And I'm sure we are heading there. I have a lot of shaman friends. I don't know if you've heard this too. That think that we're heading for that. Like in the next 5 years, just a big ending where we literally will be able to start new with what's left over.
Oh, that doesn't sound very good.
That's but a new way of thinking. I don't know if you've heard that. I've been listening to a lot of the in the
Okay,
groups I'm in for
everyone, happy
shamanism.
weekend.
Yeah, exactly. That.
Honestly, I'm in for the revolution. I am in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's my pitchfork.
Yeah. That's
Actually, Bjorn, one of the first times you ever interacted with me was on a post on Facebook, and I'd written something, and somebody politically in the comments had gone at me, and jumps Bjorn with his sword to sort the comments out, and that was one of the first interactions I had with you.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Bjorn saved me from the Facebook warriors.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember,
Yeah.
so that's nice that
Yeah.
that was in the days so many discussions, so many things, but yeah, we were all really fanatical about it, passionate. That were great times, but often a lot of waste of time, discussing something like, something in my head, I would set my card to the side and then answer.
Yeah.
I would never do that again. Yeah.
That's so fun though.
The discussions that were, oh man,
But,
then
that's why I
looking back at myself now, I think of Bjorn, oh my god, man,
Oh. No, I think that's good though, because that's why a lot of people are afraid to post opinions or post anything, is because people will come in like that and then not have someone like you to bring up the sword and set them
Exactly.
straight.
I honestly,
Yeah.
I keep my social media very vanilla for that reason, because I don't need anything. I really don't. I'm not seeking anything, so I don't need anything. So I think it's safer just to be a little bit vanilla at times.
Yeah.
Or tag Bjorn in.
Yeah, there you go. Yes. Yeah. But also too, that's, keeping having to keep ourselves in that safe thing. We're not able to put out or say things that we might want to say or might inspire someone for something else.
Honestly,
so I think that's a little on the downside.
Honestly, Morgan, in the UK, we can get arrested for writing anything on social media.
Oh, really?
There's a girl that actually got out of jail this week. 36 months, I think, she spent in prison for a Facebook post. So when I say we're ready for the governments to be done, we really are. Yeah, we don't have any freedom of speech at the moment.
Okay, yeah. I always think, of America, where it's literally the wild, wild west here on freedom of speech. We say anything crazy, and it all goes.
No, we can't.
Orwell was right, isn't it? It was a prophecy.
A prophecy.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Are you afraid for the future?
Am I afraid for the future? I think it'd be a sad state of affairs if we were afraid for the future. I think we have to go back to basics of just being all right people and stop fighting with one another. And I'm sure that things will just be fine after that. But I refuse to be afraid for the future. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had kids. I would have led my life very differently if I was. So no, I don't think it's healthy to be afraid of the future.
Be excited, especially with all your.
And
projects.
I think all the previous times were much more doom and gloom than we ever would see.
Yes.
So we will survive, no worries.
Life's too short.
Oh yes, definitely. That's like got all this inspirational stuff coming. Your classes.
Yeah. So you became 50, Toni. So you became 50. You said. I would never ask a lady her age, but you said yourself. So
what was that?
What have you learned by getting on?
I didn't hear that, Bjorn.
So I said I would never dare to ask a lady her age, but you said so yourself. So you exposed your age. So, but
yes.
My question is, what have you learned by turning 50?
What have I learned by turning 50? I've learned that it's all right to be me. It's all right to be exactly who I am, but also to understand who I am, because I think from 20s through to my 30s and 40s, I don't think I truly was myself. And I think that comes with social media as well, where you're constantly putting on a face of everything's all right. But then after Nate was born, I got severe depression, and I think that was a lot of that was caused by myself, by not being me, forgetting who I was when I was a kid, forgetting who my spirit is inside. Honestly, I've got to 50 and I really, excuse the language, don't give a flying about a lot of things anymore. And I think it just gives you a truly different view of life when you accept yourself, that you just don't care anymore about small things. Yes, the big things we can worry about, but the small things in life, why bother? I'm more me than I've ever been, unapologetically.
That's great to hear.
Well, I also learned that, you can speak about depression without worrying what anyone else thinks about it. You can speak about your hard times without worrying what anyone else is going to judge you for that. And I think that comes with age.
Yeah, people put on masks, isn't it? Always wearing masks, several masks.
Yeah.
You don't get healthy by doing that. What is it that held you back? Were you afraid to show yourself, or were you in your mind, what would other people think or say? Because you're always so outspoken.
I think I've gone into pleasing the world rather than pleasing myself. When I look at my role and taking responsibility on for things, I always went with the flow and just allowed everyone to do what they want to do, whether that was at a detriment to me or not. With the depression, it made me look into that and it made me question, and that's when I started working with Ho'oponopono. Is when I started working with Dr. Stelzel and the bigger concepts. And when I started thinking about the bigger meaning of life, or the bigger concept of life, everything else kind of paled into insignificance. And I realized I didn't have to. I could speak my truth, even if it was going to upset some people. And I had to, for me, because otherwise I was on a black downward spiral, and there were days where I didn't know what to do with myself. I really didn't. Just getting through to the end of the day was really, really difficult. So I found, by reading on deeper concepts, I started to analyze myself. I went heavy on trance meditation, and found an escape in that also found me some answers to my questions as well. Then in doing that, without realizing it, the light was there again. And I'm not saying that I don't have my days where things are difficult, because I absolutely do. But I have tools and mechanisms in place where, like my trance meditation, like my physics podcasts, the little nerdy things that actually put your brain into a different place, a different focus. It helped. I'm not saying it'll help everyone, but it actually really helped me.
For you, that's the most important.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, definitely.
you really did it yourself.
Yes. Well, I went to the doctors, and I'm being totally transparent here, and they wanted me on tablets. They wanted me doing psychotherapy. I went to see the psychotherapist. He berated me for bringing a newborn with me, because my son was so small and I didn't have family to take care of him, and it kind of threw me into a deeper hole. So I thought, right, this is up to me now. I don't want to be on medication, and I will fight that. So I pulled, as I say, I pulled my head out of my backside. I extracted it myself.
Bravo.
Like that. That's amazing.
Good way.
Yeah. I agree too. Yeah. Healing's better without tablets. Because you, of course, you know what's best for you. Yeah,
Absolutely.
And that's the important thing. Oh, yeah.
It's amazing. So for the moment, so when we had a lot of contact, you were still living in Germany, and after that you moved to England. Where are you exactly in England?
I'm actually in Northern Ireland. I'm in the north of the island of Ireland.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm in a town
So
called
you
Draper's
moved
Town, which
there?
is in the Sperrin Mountains. It's a beautiful,
Gosh.
slower pace of life over here, and the land buzzes with energy everywhere. It's so green, but it rains all the time. But apart from that, it is a great, and what I love about here is all the locals have their belief systems regarding earth deities, earth magic. They believe strongly in fairies and the fae. They believe strongly in Celtic backgrounds, so the gods, deities, etc. And that's wild. I mean, our next door, the guy who works next door to us, he has a house with a fairy garden. Sorry, a fairy mound in his garden.
Oh.
They, for example, won't cut down a hawthorn tree over here because it is the home of, or the gateway to the fae. So anybody that you speak to here is deep in that history and belief system. You know, if someone's going to die, the banshees will scream. It's wild because you don't really get that in England, and you didn't really get that in Germany either. So it's a real nice, different way of seeing life.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. It's like living in a
I
storybook.
didn't know. So, and you're still together with Jane?
Yes.
Nowadays?
We,
you can cut this if you don't want to talk with.
Oh, no, that's fine. Yeah, Jane and I are together. She's actually sat in the next room. We're really happy over here, Bjorn. It's a nice place.
That's
I'm
amazing.
glad for you. So, and how does that map out? So you both like divination, so you're always like, okay, what is she taking? What is she not saying? Or like reading cards.
Well, Jane,
How does that work out?
her desk is next
Pairs
to
in
mine.
one.
And we're always surrounded by divination. We're always doing something weird. I think that's nice because it doesn't matter how weird I come across. Jane can probably top me. Or if she comes out with something weird, I can top her. So there's always the weirdness being spoken about. And I say weirdness, but divination, spirituality, mediumship, the links between quantum physics and how we can, there's always a debate to be had.
It's amazing, though.
Have you ever a normal chat?
Yeah, that's good.
Without the weather?
Have I ever
The fun
what?
chats are better. Normal chat.
We have normal
about divination or
Yes, we have normal chats about gossip around the neighborhood, what's going on. Absolutely, we've got our normal chats. But in an evening, we do tend to navigate to meditations and what we're going to meditate on, what we want to manifest. I'm looking over here, and the whole windowsill is covered in different plants from our garden, where we've picked them and put them in jars so that we can use them for something in the future that we don't know what that's going to be, but it's going to be magic.
Yes.
It's a mutual love of doing daft things.
That sounds really great. I'm really happy for you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So,
I love that.
and if you fight, the cards are like flying in the pendulum through the air, and like in the war.
Well, that's quite a weapon.
Yeah, that's because Dad. Yeah,
I think so.
They tried to stop me going.
You're always right, Toni. I agree.
yes.
They tried to stop me getting on a plane with that.
Really?
Yeah, and I said there's no way, and they actually went and measured it because there's a measurement that it can't be above, otherwise it's classed as a weapon.
Oh my
And I
gosh.
said, I'm not traveling without that.
Yes, exactly. Oh, I can't believe they do that. Yeah, I'm glad they let you on with it. But it's still fun.
And what about the Kipper cards nowadays, Toni? Because you have also a lot of knowledge. So you were, I think, the first to really brought the Kipper cards into the Anglo world. Because you are so
I absolutely adore Kipper for that reason. I remember I was in, obviously I was in Germany from 2006 onwards. I'd not been there long. And naturally, when you're a reader, you come across people who are in a similar line. Even mums at school, you'll have a conversation and then there's somebody who's into that kind of weirdness as well. So the Kipper cards entered my life. Just the same as Lenormand, it only comes with those basic, Bjorn, those basic instructions.
Oh, yeah.
But those basic instructions were what fueled me because I thought, wow, this is a system I can get on top of. And for business reads, for financial reads, for interpersonal relationship, it was honestly, when I first started reading, I thought, actually, nobody could get this wrong. If you read with this system, it's so clear what it's saying to you. The narrative is there in the cards without you having, it's like reading a book or watching a movie. It's just there in front of you. So the Kipper cards will always be a major love in my life. And when I read for clients, I read with Lenormand and Kipper. So depending on the question they're asking, if it's deep within work or if it's deep multi-people interpersonal relationships, then it's the Kipper cards. They beat everything hands down for things like that. Yeah, Kipper cards they'll always be on my desk. and they will always be loved and they will always be used.
Yeah.
And I need to redo my book because my book is nearly 10 years old now, maybe 8 or 9, I'm not sure. It's old anyway, so I need to redo that as well, because when you read through what you've done before so many years ago, and you've evolved in yourself with the reading as well, it's like, did I really need to put that much information into a book? Could I not have condensed it somehow? So I've got to revisit that as well.
Yeah. Yeah, but it also depends on who is reading the book. So often people need a lot in between. So I think it's normal that you look back at you like 5 or 10 years ago. That would not be a normal process if you not were thinking, okay, I should have done that different. So that's
I think also when you start using different decks or different systems, there's a little bit of the system that you take over to that other system that you're reading, or when you learn something new, you take a bit of that and think, oh, well, actually, this would apply quite well to my other system. For example, Lustrous Lenormand. I mean, that's you were talking about alchemy before. Le Grand Jeu with the alchemist in there. That's one hell of a system that doesn't get seen for the actual amazing predictive power that it has as much as it should do.
Yeah.
That's really yes. I owned a deck, and that was a real antique deck, and I really love to read with it. But it's such a big system, so it's a life work to really grasp that. So I could only play those cards and then read in the book. I like to do that kind of things, but they were always bang on. And then I somehow was thinking, if you read a system, at least that was, for me, that was the case. And I want to hear from you how that was for you. Especially if you're like reading for yourself, often either read your hopes or your fears. The more you know about the system, the more you can bend it in your head. At least that is what I did. So I never for myself had really not much use of those cards anyway.
Well, if you remember
if you have like a system, what you don't know really, you just focus on the core of the meaning. And I really found out whenever I did that, I really had a very good reading. And that was especially with the Grand Jeu, but also those other French cartomancy decks. I forgot about them, those names.
Yeah.
So how was it with you?
I think, when I said at the beginning that when I read for myself, I look at it, I take in the information, and then I'm done. I think that's because if you spend any longer on it, you could start to second guess or start to read your hopes and start to read your fears. I do a snapshot where I look at it. I do read while I'm laying. So a grand tableau, I start reading at card 1. So all that information is there. So I don't need to sit for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, because I've already read it by the time I've actually placed my final card down. Anything longer than that, then I think you can start, depending on the situation. If it's a really difficult situation, then I think you can start to allow what if this means this? But doing that, but I would say with Le Grand Jeu Lenormand, I think it's a bit of a bitch of a deck, and it smashes you between the eyeballs with its interpretation, so that you can't you can't discount it when it's laid. It's like, well, this is how it is. I'm not allowing you to manipulate me in any way. This is what I say. And I like that about that system. I really do. It is a cumbersome deck to do big reads with. So I would never sit for a client and do the huge reads. There's a flower spread. There's all kinds of different spreads that come with it. But if you're reading for yourself with a smaller, I also like the letters on there. And if you read the original instructions, they just used it as if, can you make words up with these letters?
Yeah.
Kind of like that, because that was a little bit of fun that other systems don't do. But I do think if you spend too long reading for yourself, I do think you're not getting the most accurate read unless you take that snapshot.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Toni, for your time.
Thank you.
for your openness, for
And
the interesting themes you talked about.
Yeah.
yes, I talked a lot.
I know,
So
I
if
love
we
that. Oh, yeah.
to round it up, you know what, where we were talking about back in the day is always like world domination.
Yes,
And now we're
we
back
can
at
still
it.
do that. We'll still do that,
We
Bjorn.
gear up.
Absolutely. Let's do that still.
You know, I now came back in the scene, you know.
Oh, no.
I'm so happy that I got to know Morgan, you know, when we were talking
Yeah.
later on. And so she could really make me enthusiastic again for all that if
Yay.
I could a more broader perspective. So I'm back and I love it. I'm back from a different angle. You know,
Yay.
I always like community building and all that. And now we can take the steering wheel in that regard.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Oh, yeah.
You're very
Before my
welcome.
sister-in-law, she is her birthday.
Oh,
Oh, well, happy birthday. Have a lovely rest of
Okay.
it. A lovely weekend. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, have a good weekend.
Yes.
Bye.
See you.
Okay, thanks. Bye.